Hi, I'm back again. My name is Matthew Mayfield Johnson Jr. I'm currently fighting a hate crime, and I want justice for this hate crime because I've been extremely slandered beyond reasonable doubt. And I'm going to be going over one of those folders that I told you guys that I was going to go over, and it's dealing with some complaints that I put in on the Salem Police Department's Officer Roger Gerald Smith and Erick Hernandez. I had recently been fighting promoting prostitution and the delivery of an oxycodone within 1,000 feet of a school zone case 14-18189. I want to remind people that that case number that I just recently read off to you is assigned to a prostitution citation. Nothing to do with me, but I was charged with the information. Gail Ryder was my acting fake public pretender. I said that on purpose. Pretender. She was not a defender. She was a pretender. And I don't care if she think this is slandering, because she can only imagine how I felt when she called me ignorant, dumb, stupid. She felt sorry for me. All these things that was unprofessional about her. She really did. She had recently got me a deal which I think is the most slanderous thing that ever happened to a human being. I'm a felony and a C felony at the same time, with blankly enhancement factors on my probation because of this lady and Douglas Hanson. But I want to break down this folder that I have right here because it's very important facts in it. It's dealing with the complaint that I filed on Officer Roger Smith and Erick Hernandez. But I had got an email from Gail M. Ryder, who I knew not to trust. Remind you, she was never working for me. And today I called the Salem Police Department at 12 o'clock, somewhere around there, in between 1 and 12. I should say, because I'm not for sure when. I was just on the phone with them. I got this phone right here. I wanted to read this email to you showing proof that Gail Ryder wanted to destroy my information. She wrote me Monday, June 15, 2015 at 12:49 p.m. And in the email it says, Mr. Johnson, I received a telephone call this morning from Lieutenant Russ Morris, Salem Police Department. He tells me that you have filed a complaint regarding Salem Police Department Officer Roger Gerald Smith. He would like to have copies of those documents that you have that involve your complaint. He understands that it would not be appropriate for him to contact you while your case is still pending, and I agree. He asked me to ask you to provide those documents to me, and I will pass them along to Lieutenant Morris. I told him that I do not know what is in the complaint you filed, but I will ask you to provide the documents. Please send any documents to me that you have that are important for your complaint against Officer Smith. I will pass along those documents to Lieutenant Morris. Well, when I called them today this morning, of course, as you know, they always put me on hold because they know I'm digging. And when a person is digging, when like a private investigator digs for the truth, for information on leading to the truth, they send you around to several different people, and they put several different people in your way, so that way you could be extremely exhausted and frustrated, so you can stop doing whatever you doing, and that's digging up the truth. So with that being said, when I called to ask to speak to Lieutenant Morris, Come to find out, he's not even a lieutenant. He's a sergeant. One rank lower, I think. I'm not for sure. Most of my life has been in lockup, solitary confinement. But I know one thing, a lieutenant is higher than a sergeant. Uh, he's a sergeant. Morris never got on the phone because he knew nothing about this case. I read off a case number to the officer who they put on the phone to me, and when I read off the case number, I'm still known in their database as a compeller of prostitution when there was no minors ever involved in this situation. Not only that, I'm a drug dealer and all this other slanderous things that Officer Roger Joe Smith wrote up about me, but at the ending result, it says promoting prostitution and delivery of an oxycodone. But what the Salem Police Department don't know is that out of all the charges that they charged me with, the District Attorney Doug Hanson only picked up 2 of those charges. He dropped the compelling because he only knew that there was no underage kids. So that's why the compelling got dropped. I like to also add that Gail Ryder has sent me this email full of lies, and I wrote on it today. As you could see, the date is July 31st, 2015, and I wrote on it, and in my own words, I made a phone call to the Salem Police Department. Come to find out, this email from Gail Ryder is nothing but lies. I asked to talk with Officer Morris and was placed on hold for 5 to 10 minutes only to talk to a different officer who had no information to give me. I did, in fact, hear him call me a compeller. Again, slander. I gave this officer my case number 14-18889, and a crime incident report came up with charges I don't even have on my no contest plea. Roger Smith and Erick Hernandez are bad cops, and I called this email in today looking for answers. And what do you know? I'm all over the place. I'm still considered a compeller of prostitution, a drug dealer, all these things. And not only that, I wrote a complaint on them because they take you through what's called chain of commands. Now in this, my first thing is the complaint to the Oregonian, in which my complaint started from. I had did some research, and I came up on the Oregonian side of things. So I wrote a little storyline about what really occurred on May 16, 2014. And then I furthermore went to the Oregon Department of Public Safety Standards and Training. And if you ever watch any of my videos, you will hear that both of these officers testified to the training that they received from these people. So I went and did some research, and I found them online. Here's my whole office. I like to turn it and show you. I got they computer, and I got a printer, a 3-in-1 fax printer, so I'm ready, for the cause. And the thing is, I wrote their bosses up, and they failed to really investigate it, in which I'm leading on the internal affairs, because I went through them, and I got an email which from them in the end saying that they gave me a file number, which is FF4283-15, and it's a complaint, Salem Police Department, right? They said that they didn't find anything wrong with the behaviors in which they officers done to me by violating my human rights and my constitutional rights. Not only that, they cuffed me and made me watch them grope on my wife and touch her and pat her down when there was no arresting women officers there. The violations get deeper and deeper about Officer Joe Smith. and Erick Hernandez. So now I'm going to flip through this. As you know, they gave me a number to internal affairs too, as you can see at the bottom with the complaint number. So in order for this stuff to be truthful, people, you have to know your facts. And not only that, you have to be able to be willing to make sacrifices in your life. I can't go play basketball like I normally go do in a day. I can't go kick it and have fun, or I can't go to them barbecues that I like to go to because my mind is so focused on my trying to get my innocence back that I've lost contact with that part of my life, and it's sad because I'm always here looking at this computer thinking on how these people did me. And when I break down this folder, it's just ridiculous of what actually happened with him. So now I'm gonna try to turn the page for you guys on with the complaint. Here you got the Marion County probable cause statement and data sheet. What that means is that Officer Roger Smith, like he testified to on his motion hearing, that he had to write a police report, or he had to do paperwork. Well, this is the only piece of paper that he wrote on my arrest date right here. He gave, I can't read upside down always, but I can sometimes. He gave me crimes alleged: promoting prostitution, compelling prostitution, delivery of an oxycodone, and delivery of an oxycodone within 1,000 feet. And then furthermore, he himself made my wife Jessica Johnson the victim, and he tried to play ACP, but what he really did was take one of these black markers, and I'm going to give you an example here because I believe in giving examples. You see how it says Facebook right here? Well, I'm going to take this marker that they got, these special markers, and I'm going to cross it out acting like the ACP. And they did this to my wife, acting like she was a victim. But in reality, see how easy it was for me to do, to get rid of some information. So back to the folder I go, and I turn to it. But then I turn from that probable cause sheet, which he got my wife labeled as a victim. And at the very bottom of this, there's no judge signature. What Roger Smith did was act it out. He went and got a notary done on this paperwork, which I think is illegal. Without a judge seeing it, it don't mean nothing. You are an officer. You're not a judge. You're not a district attorney. I don't know how he played his part and where he think that nobody was gonna see this, especially me, because one thing he did write in those police reports is Mr. Johnson exposed faggot shit. And I'll just leave it at that, because I'm exposing true facts right now. And I like to add that these are technicalities right here, because he did not fill out the information correctly. And I say all technicalities because he tried to duplicate it, and he rushed his work so bad that he felt like he didn't need a judge's signature, and I'll further explain that. Now, on this right here, like I told you, I called from Gail Ryder's email, and when they Salem Police Department looked me up under that case number 14-18889, they see a crime. They see this. They see what's called a crime incident report sheet, and on that crime incident report sheet, it gave me unlawful delivery of oxycodone within 1,000 feet, promoting prostitution, compelling prostitution, and prostitution. And again, they said that they arrested my wife. I like to point this black marker stuff out, is that they used this and they hurried up. But what's so funny is that they try to make a vulnerable victim, which is a minor under the age of 17 and 16, which I never had at the time of my arrest, because as you can see, he forgot to take the black pen just a little further and erase my wife age, which says 26. So he broke the charges down. He gave my wife prostitution right here, and then he gave me unlawful delivery of a controlled substance, which is in 1,000 feet, and unlawful delivery of a controlled substance, which is the oxycodones. I'm talking like them now. And then he also gave me promoting and compelling prostitution. All lies, because if you really look at the case number in which he charged me with, it says 14-1889, and it says Oregon Uniform Citation and Complaint. He gave the complaint to my wife and sent her on her way and slandered me the rest of the way. And that's the truth. Not only that, there's other information in here where her case number is actually under Douglas Christopher Hanson, which was another corrupted part of this. He actually charged my wife with Jessica Uriah Johnson for prostitution under case number 14C43220. My case number is 14C42686. So what they did was they took two cases and they charged them on one prostitution citation. How do that work? I don't know. You ask Douglas Christopher Hanson. He's a chairman of the domestic violence subcommittee, or whatever you want to call yourself. I don't care about that. What I care about is how you guys slander me and enslave me in y'all system. Furthermore, I never seen it where two supposed cops, one of them that I never talked to, go to a grand jury on me late when I got audio saying that an indictment should have been issued on the 29th of May. They got this supposed indictment by two cops on October 20th. Illegal. Not only that, under Officer Roger Gerald Smith affidavit, which I got a copy of, and I like to point out the truth. It says affidavit of Detective Roger Gerald Smith. And it says Matthew and Jessica Johnson committed the crimes of prostitution, promoting prostitution, compelling, delivery of oxycodone, delivery of an oxycodone within 1,000 feet, and conspiracy to commit the same crimes. So when you write a police report like that, it's meaning that me and my wife were once co-defendants. So I understand again how that they picked and choose what they wanted to charge me with, but I figured that out because Douglas Hanson, you yourself testified on the phone call to my wife about how you picked and choose what you wanted to prosecute, and that's true. So on the front of his affidavit right here, because they seem to believe affidavits is the way to go, and if you tell the truth on the affidavit, or if you tell a story on the affidavit, it's got to be the truth because it's certified and sworn in as a true bill. Well, that's a lie, because this is where it gets real serious on the corruption and the misconduct of Officer Roger Smith. He committed perjury on the facts. He, for one, lied under oath, and he sought his bad job through. He wrote a ORS code 133.545. Now I know that code by heart, and I don't have to look it up because I've read it so many times, and it's a waste of time for me to just show you guys all the paperwork. But he pretended to be what's called a pro team judge, meaning that he could sign applicant search warrants anytime he wants to. So a certain judge has stepped out, according to Roger Smith, which is absolutely bull crap. Ain't no judge step out for you to do an illegal job. You know, you did an illegal job because you had missed the preliminary hearing date that you were supposed to be at with the information. And that's what's so funny about these people. They think that I'm so dumb and ignorant that I don't see the loopholes. So he put in, and under that code, that ORS code, he signed as a pro tem judge, you know, and what that means is that he got to sign some search warrants over here. These are the search warrants of the cell phone, which was supposedly found in my hand or on the floor or in my pocket. I don't know. All these officers was all over the place in motion, so I'm confused. I know for a fact that I dropped the phone out of my hand onto the floor at gunpoint, and Officer Roger Smith picked it up and asked me if I wanted to be a drug dealer. How he got permission to do that, I don't know, if he's asking me in advance. But back to Roger Smith, he signed these, but he rushed and signed them because on several certain ones he duplicated one and made it to this one and forgot to sign his name on it because me and my wife was being charged, and they needed, of course they needed information to actually charge my wife with the prostitution. So in order to get that information, where did they get it from? Her phones, her laptops, you know, which they eventually pinned on me and got me to take a slanderous plea. So furthermore, I got proof of the laptops that he said was mine, but it's not, you know. Still, this is the stuff that I complained about, and I like to furthermore explain to you right here on several of his notes. He said, my wife said, I make my own money, pussy is my profit. Jessica Johnson. This stuff have nothing to do with me, you know, but yet it was charged to me, you know. Evidence. He testified to me having only $1,200, but as you could easily see, that she was a suspect. My wife was a suspect, but you said she was a victim, and that the pill bottle containing my 50 oxycodons was found in my wife Jessica's purse. Not only that, Roger Smith is just full of lies. You know, they even ran the pills to see if it was an actual oxycodone pill, and come to find out it was. And the symptoms that Erick Hernandez and Roger Smith testified to under oath, well, I got the proof saying that the symptoms came from, you know, distress of being under the metformin pill. Again, which show that I had been sick for a long time, and I was trying to, you know, show them that, you know, but they took a sick confession, forced it on me, and it's okay because now I have proof, because when I went in their ambulance, I needed 2 IVs to, you know, bring me back from wherever I was supposedly, you know, but along the way I was laughing. So right here I like to add this because this is extremely important and people understand it. When you get a subpoena, you supposed to show up to court. Well, I like to read off 4 officers that was subpoenaed by my attorney, Kerry Weiland, on July 15, 2014. Officer Roger Smith, Detective Lance Dede, Sergeant Jerry Burnett, and Detective Erick Hernandez. Again, as you can see, his badge number is cut off right there because it's hard for y'all to see the truth. because how you gonna find the rest of his badge number? Right. I mean, these people play. But again, they were subpoenaed to a court and never came. And I got proof that I was there because here's my signature and here's the acknowledgement sheet by the judge. These officers are bad cops, man. I'm talking about bad. I repeat, the Salem Police Department is ongoing investigation due to some corrupted cops that they got working in their system. You know, again, they came to a grand jury on me. They was on my grand jury list. As you can see, they now got my wife Jessica Johnson as what's called the witness. And the reason why her title changed now is because they wanted to only use her testimony as a victim, and then they want to turn around and exclude her as a witness, because if you go to a courthouse, you will see the sign say witnesses is excluded, so that way stories won't get mixed up, so or whatever. But in this matter, they wanted to exclude my wife so she wouldn't so a jury wouldn't see the emotions that she give, because they done prosecuted me wrongly, you know, and that's the reason why they turned her back into a witness. So this is the information that I got on these cops, and now I get to do up my follow-up. Officer Roger Smith said I took these photos when there's information on the photographer from the evidence that they took that points to him taking the photos, and I got that information. I just got too much information, you know. I never ever thought that I would have to go through this stuff to show how innocent I am. But hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do in order to show that you do know what you're talking about. And I got a whole bunch more files to go over, but I'm thinking like I really need the public's help, because if you think about it, Khalif Browder and this Sandra Blade lady, they couldn't handle the pressure, you know. So of course, we always think about taking the easy way out. And the easy way out is to kill ourselves or to go do something extremely wrong. And that gives them a justifiable reason to say, you know what, I told you so. You know, I knew something was wrong with that individual. I just couldn't put my finger on it. So now I'm in stage 2 of this process. It says Salem Police Citizen Complaint Form. First I write they bosses. Now I gotta write them. But I'm saying, you know what? I'm not even going to put this complaint in on file, because there's already one in on them. And I'm going directly to Internal Affairs like they said. And I'll send my information there, because something has to be done. Somebody got to look at this, because if it's one corrupted cop and then you got another cop that's willing to lie for that cop and cover him to keep him doing the negative things, then you know what you have, a whole corrupted system, because it's a mole in there, you know. Courtesy of watching Young and the Restless, I like to call that cop, that bad cop, which is Roger Smith, a mole, because he do things and he do them illegally. And follow me as I uncover more of this story, and I'm going to fight it and fight it and fight it, and there's nothing that these officers can do about it. And Douglas Hanson and Gail Ryder, y'all different complaining its own self.